Okay. All right. Good evening, Gem Stars, and welcome to our grand finale for our team coaching knowledge sharing session. It's been a long journey. We started February this year, and it all came from the purpose of the group, wherein we want to continue to build knowledge, continue to support one another and strengthen one another, especially bringing coaching practice to human resources professionals, and not just to be called coaches, but to be professional coaches, to have a community where people can come together, learn, support one another. We are a registered NGO focused on improving the practice of human resources using coaching as part of the skills, tools, and strategies for people to first transform themselves so that they can impact their world. HRGen was founded in 2019. Today, we are growing. We are about 70 something and still growing. We are all a community of passionate people who want to make a difference in our profession. And I've decided to learn coaching first, understand and use coaching in the appropriate way to enable us deliver exceptional value in the workplace. On that note, I want to welcome everyone once again. But I'd like to especially welcome our senior coaches in the house this evening. First and foremost, I am really humbled because the notice came at a very short period. Initially, I felt so bad sending the notification quite late, but I really feel so honored that despite the short notice, you made out some time. It just shows that you're passionate, and it equally shows your support for what we are doing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. On that note, I would like to just introduce the team members of Team 8. But before then, I would like to just do a quick recap. So what led to us coming up with the team coaching knowledge sharing session? Okay, so earlier this year, so last year we did peer-to-peer coaching, where we had people who are still very new in their coaching journey, as well as people who are taking trainings in their coaching but need to be handheld and to be supported. So we had peer-to-peer coaching last year, where we had the senior coaches, the certified coaches who were like coach mentors to the younger coaches within the community, and it was fantastic. This year, we thought about taking it a step further. And of course, given the fact that ICF recently introduced the team competency coaching, stemmed from the fact that a lot of organizations are now beginning to look into team coaching. And as HR professionals, we play a critical role to ensure that team coaching is done appropriately within our organization. So we came up with that idea to group everyone into 8, where each group would talk about a competence. They would go, learn, read, rehearse, study, whatever, then come together and then share their knowledge with the entire group. We started 14th of February with competence 1. So I will throw it to the house. Who want to remind us what is ICF Team Coach Competence 1? Anyone? You want to go off mute and just tell us what did we share together? ICF Competence 1, what was it? Any of the gem stars in the house? Any team 1 member? Very quickly. You never can tell, might have a prize for someone.
Can I answer?
Yes, go ahead. Ukamaka.
Demonstrates ethical practice.
Fantastic, demonstrate ethical practice. Thank you. What was competence 2? Anyone else? Competence 2? Gem stars. Competence 2, anyone else?
Embodies a coaching mindset.
Sorry? Hello?
Embodies a coaching mindset.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Yes, the competence 2 is embodies a coaching mindset. Okay, who else? Who wants to share ICF Team Competence 3? Can we be very fast?
Establish and maintain agreement.
Fantastic, thank you. Establishes and maintains agreement.
Establishes
so
and maintains agreement.
Awesome, awesome. So what is the ICF Team Competence 4?
Cultivate trust and safety.
Safety, woo! Thank you so much, thank you, that's correct. What is ICF Team Coach?
Cultivate trust and safety.
Maintain presence.
Correct. Thank you, cultivate trust and safety. So what is ICF Team Competence 5?
Maintains presence.
Maintains presence, fantastic.
Maintains presence.
Yes, yes, you guys are spot on. So what is ICF Team Competence 6?
Listening actively.
Listen actively. Awesome, awesome. Then competence 7, we had that 2 weeks ago. Who remembers?
Evokes awareness.
Evokes awareness. Wow. Well done, well done, well done. Well done, everyone.
Listening attentively.
No, that's not it. That's not it. Thank you. Someone already answered. Thank you. So on that note, we'll jump straight to...
Sorry, can I say competency 4 wasn't said correctly.
Oh, okay, ma'am.
So competency 4 is cultivate trust and safety.
And safety.
And safety, yes.
Safety partners. Cultivate trust and safety partners.
Oh, wow. Okay. Thanks for that correction, Ma. Thank you, Ma.
You're welcome.
Thank you. So on that note, we'd like to invite TA to just give us a charge before we start for a few minutes. I know this is putting you on the spot, Ma, but we love to always hear from your fountain of wisdom.
Well, you're really putting me on the spot, but it's okay. I've learned to be ready in season and out of season, being a member of Girl Guides. Good evening, everyone. It is indeed a pleasure to be here with you. It's only Lara that can do this to me, but being a consultant, we're always on the spot. That's not an Accenture tradition, I hope not. A bad habit. Okay, it's a pleasure to be here. And I really would have loved to be here for Competency 7, which is evoking awareness. And last year, it was one of the sessions when the trustees had sessions during the lockdown. That was one of the sessions I had because for me, that's the catalytic competency. But competency 8, if I recall, as part of the new competency is an encapsulation of the old competency 9, 10, and 11. And the old competency 9 was about designing actions. The old competency 10 was about planning and goal setting. And the old competency 11 was about managing progress and accountability. So you can see all these 3 competencies now being encapsulated into what is now competency 8, which is about facilitating client growth. And this resonates very well and it's very apt because coaching is not about us. It's always about the client. It's about the client learning. It's about respecting the client's autonomy. It's about celebrating their progress every session. And it's about the way we partner with them to close each session so that they feel empowered, energetic, and emboldened. With that said, I just thank God that I remember the beginnings of HR Gems when Lara told me about this vision. And I remember the first time I said she should invite members to one of our ICF meetings. I think Ade Martins was talking about NLP. And he was like, what's NLP? So I said, well, if you don't know what NLP is, then that means every time we have our meetings, you should always invite members of HR Gems to join us and learn with us. And what began as a mustard seed has grown. And I really want to congratulate every one of you who's a member of HR Gems. I notice I have fellow coaches in the house. Yinka is here, and I think I saw Janet's name as well. You're all welcome, and well done, Lara. And I can only say, well, I hope all of you here will not only take coaching to greater heights, but will always remember to make coaching a way of life as well. Thank you. God bless you all.
Thank you so much, TA. Thank you. And welcome, Coach Janet. We are really honored and glad to have you join us, ma'am. My apologies. My invitation came at a very short notice, but you made out some time to be part of our meeting this evening. Thank you. We are glad to have you. So on that note, we quickly jump to the final session this evening, where we'll have Team 8 share with us their learnings from ICF Team 8 Competency. So on that note, I'll hand over the baton to Team 8. Thank you. So do we have Linda? Who's presenting for Team 8, please?
Myself and Stella and Adesua. Lara, can't share screen. Please enable me.
I have done that. Please go ahead. We can see your screen. Kamaka, we can see your screen, but we can't hear you. You're on mute just in case you're talking. Kamaka, we can't hear you. You're on mute.
Anyway, Lara, let me just use this as an opportunity.
Hello, Kamaka.
Lara, let me use this as an opportunity to just congratulate you for what you're doing. I think it's a very laudable cause. It's very interesting that you can pull some people together to learn coaching in this manner. So well done to you all, and keep it going.
Thank you so much, Coach Janet. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm so sorry. I've been talking. I didn't know I was muted. I'm so sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hello?
Yes, we
Yes,
can.
Okay, good.
Yes, we can hear
Yes,
you.
we can hear you.
Thank you so much. All right, so my name is Okamakude, like I've been introduced by Lara, and today we are exploring the 8th ICF competency framework. Let me put my camera. Can you see me?
Yes, we can.
All right. All right. So today we are exploring the 8th ICF competency, which is facilitating the client's growth. We have gone through all the 7 competencies, and today I think it's actually like what puts the action of all the efforts we put in the client's coaching process. This is what makes it look like, okay, yes, we've done the good job. So now, what is the facilitation of a client's growth? Is actually when a coach partners with a client in the essence of trying to transform learnings, making them actionable. So after the learning process have gone through, what has the client learned? How does the client begin to move from that point where he was stuck to the point where he desired to get to? So that's what will show that the client has grown. And this is actually what promotes the client's autonomy in the coaching process. So also for a client to grow, which takes us to the next slide, for a client to grow, there are 2 mindsets for a client to grow, which we have here, the growth mindset and the fixed mindset. The growth mindset is typically where the client is willing to learn gain new insights, understand new trends, and therefore is open to new learnings. When you look at this diagram right now, we have the fixed mindset and the growth mindset. The fixed mindset is not positive at all. It's so limiting. It's so full of biases. It's saying, what if I can't learn? If you look at it very well, it says, let me expand it a bit. It says, I don't like to be challenged. When I fail, I'm not good. Tell me I'm smart. This fixed mindset wants to be reassured of his or her innate qualities. This also fixed mindset asks the question, when I'm frustrated, I just give up, I throw in the towel. If you succeed, I feel threatened. My abilities determine everything. However, the growth mindset on the other part is saying something very positive, is willing to learn. I can learn anything I want to. When I'm frustrated, I persevere. I want to challenge myself. When I fail, I learn. Tell me, I try hard. If you succeed, I am inspired. My effort and attitude determine everything. So you can see that this growth mindset is very, very, very powerful. It is very positive. And that is what the client, that's the space the client should be after the coaching process has gone through, so that they can put whatever they've learned into actions. Because if the actions are not put in, if there are no actions, there won't be any results. And if there are no results, to me, and I'm sure for every coach that is here, the whole coaching process will be a fiasco, if you ask me. So we'll try as a coach to get the clients to the space of having a growth mindset. You're not, as at where you were before the coaching began, you were like a novice. You didn't know nothing about your deficiencies. You had those strength in you. So that's why the coach asks the thought-evoking questions that will make you identify your deficiencies and make you tell yourself, oh, this is where I'm lacking. That's where the aha moment comes in, because you're actually the one that has the power for the change you desire. So for instance, let me just give myself an example. My first ever coaching experience was with the delectable Stella Obilo, that is here my partner today. She gave me my first coaching experience, and I remember the session, and she was like, tell me why I cannot do this. She kept on asking me questions, and today, Stella, I'm sure I'm making you proud. So when the client has the coaching and the growth mindset, which is a positive mindset, then we can have a goal. We can set a goal. Let's go to the next slide. The goal is where the future that the client has desired to be. That is the result of the whole process of the coaching. That is the essence of the coaching. From the points where I'm deficient to the points where I'm a superstar. That is where I want to be. And that's the essence of the coaching process. So now the coach facilitates the growth by also setting a goal with the client. He works with the client to integrate awareness and insight into new learnings, which will transmit the client into meeting those goals. So these goals direct and boost the motivation of the client and also boost the self-confidence of the client. And as this goal is being done, I'm sure we all know the SMARTs. The SMART tool has to be specific, has to be measurable, has to be actualistic and realistic as well, and time-bound. So now, how do we get this to be done? It's through dialogue. We all know that a coaching process is a dialogue between the coachee and the coach. So it is a dialogue process that will make us set a timeline and make the client reflect, think inwards, and see that, yes, this is what I should do. And we have got to the point and we are having to set a goal. When we set a goal, it means that the coach and the coachee will have a timeline, and the coach have to be accountable to the coachee's set goals because there's a timeline to it. And this conversation is just a step-by-step guide to meeting the target, to meeting the set goals, which has been set during the coaching process. At this point, I'll hand over to my partner, Stella Obilo, to take it from here with the reflection and accountability. Thank you. Stella, are you there? Stella, I'm muted.
Oh, sorry. I said good evening, everyone, and thank you, Ukamaka. Okay, so I'm going to be talking about reflection, accountability, and reflection, accountability, and then team learning and insights. So just to write into what Ukamaka has just shared with us, reflection, unlike the goal setting and the goal setting that will involve you, having to ensure that the goals are set at the beginning of the coaching session. And this reflection bits, it involves the coach themselves. So it helps you to reflect. It's more of turning experience into knowledge. It involves the thought and the exploration of the concepts of professional knowledge that the coach use in their daily practice, we're told. And so this reflection will help a coach to link the knowledge they have acquired into daily practice and help them to improve on what they do and how they do it. And so we have a support system. So there are different ways that the coach can relearn or upskill. So these competencies have the new set of competencies have just been introduced. And Tia rightly mentioned at the beginning of the session that the last week competencies, or was it the last competency was an improvement on the last three for the previous competencies being used. And so it's very, very laudable what we are doing here, trying to relearn and reskill our skills in coaching. So the reflection bit, it's for us to improve awareness. So we are able to consciously and purposefully improve our coaching practice. So that's what this part of the competency is talking about. So now let me go into accountability. Accountability in itself, yeah, it helps you to be to take, what's the word I'll use now? To take responsibility. It's like taking one, you take responsibility for your action, and then you have someone like looking down your neck and just, I just want to go, you know, let me just use the low term. Someone is, you have said you want to do something, and you have shared with someone, and you said, I want to do it between this period and this period, and then the person is continuously going to be, asking, so have you done this? So what next? So accountability coaching provides the structure and the support and guidance to help the team stay focused and accountable to their goals. So it's like they said, if nothing gets measured, it doesn't get done. So also, if you're talking about the goal setting, so at the beginning of this year, we all heard, we all learned, okay, vision building and goal setting and stuff like that. And so it was more this year than other years. At the beginning of this year, almost everywhere, almost every learning, it was on goal setting. So when you have these goals, what else do you do? You set actionable timelines. My Okamaka has talked about the goals being specific, measurable, actionable, realistic, and time-bound. So you now set timelines to these goals. So we set timelines, and then of course we are taught that if you are liaising with the coachees, you are supposed to find out. So it's not one big bogus thing. It has to be, you have to look at the factors within your control when setting these goals. So you're not going to set, you are going to encourage them to set this particular goals within it. It must be what is achievable. Not you set one focus goal about how you can improve, I can change the whole world, something of that nature. So it has to be something within your control. So this accountability, accountability in itself, it help you to trigger ideas, and then you solve problems. So we're told about let me see this, because I was speaking of the cuff now, let me check. Okay, accountability measures, the Kipling's 5 WIH is talking about the what, the when, the why, the where, the how. So in coaching, we all know coaching, we don't load our thoughts into our clients. We use these thought provoking questions to help them to get to their desired states, to take them from where they are to where they desire to be. And then so when you ask questions like, okay, what is in it for you? When do you hope to achieve this? And why is this important for you? So those are, you just keep on, okay, where do you see yourself in the next couple of years, and how do you hope to actualize it? So they are talking about the what, the when, the why, the where in the coaching practice, or in the coaching relationship. So it's more like it's what we all use, and then so we use some of all these questions. We use these questions to get insights, to help the coachees to bring out the potential from within them, to bring out all those answers from within them. So so we ask. So that's what is the what's, the where, the why, the when, and the how is talking about. And then the team learnings we talked about. So at the beginning of we talked about, okay, we have talked about the goal setting. So and then you have the coachee and yourself, you've had this conversation around how the coachee needs to actualize these goals. And then so you start celebrating their progress along the line. So coaching is not just, okay, we have a session, we have dropped it, we are done. Oh, I've coached you, we are done. There's supposed to be a follow-up. So it's a complete circle. So there's, okay, we'll have this conversation. When next are we meeting? We'll meet on okay, we have just had one on the 27th of June. And then let's have another one in the month's time. Let us see how far you're going. And then the coachee comes to tell you about, oh, I've been able to achieve this. Oh, that's good, well done. So you celebrate, it's like celebrating the small wins. And then you encourage, they said, encourage active participation beyond coaching. So there are times that how do I put it down? So there are times that it's not, there are so many things we do for the coachee that is beyond the coaching relationship, and then some coach and client relationship as you know, build into something more beautiful and a lifelong relationship. And so there is need for you to, there's need for the coach to, you know, everything to encourage, everything to help this coachee achieve their goal. Is what you're all out to do. And then in team agreement, of course, at the beginning of a coaching relationship, there must be an agreement. Okay, this is what we hope to achieve at the end of this session, and then everything must be spelled out. These are the period we hope to meet. In fact, okay, this is what this is going to cost you. This is what the session is going to cost you for follow-up sessions, and also everything is clear at the beginning of the conversation. So you don't have someone who is disgruntled at the end of this. I didn't even feel coached. Oh, this was not well. Or there is a derailment of the original agreement. Okay, let me share this experience also on talking of accountability partners. So my company is currently handling handling a project. I shared it yesterday with some of my colleagues, and I said, yes, we talked about accountability partner, how we take some of all these experiences that we are using in coaching, we are bringing it out to use them in our day-to-day lives. So they talked about we are supposed to build capabilities in about 90 internally displaced persons and returning migrants and unemployed youths in Edo State. We have to graduate about 90 of them on a monthly basis. So I introduced, you know how it is trying to get all this set of persons. You know, they're already in that state of what is this country? There's nothing. Imagine you are trying to build capabilities in someone who was deported. So you know, it's very, very difficult trying to get across, trying to get into their head and stuff like that. So, but in all this, we're trying to get them to come for lectures, trying to get them to come for trainings. The accountability partner thing has really worked wonders, because we now divide them into two. We say, okay, this is going to be accountability partner. Initially, when we started, we're like, what is accountability partner? And this person is going to be responsible for you coming to class. This person is going to be responsible for you doing your assignment, and it really worked. We saw a massive improvement when the accountability partner was introduced. So we should not take it for granted. And so even in our coaching experience, sorry, I have to now go back to it. So even in our coaching experience, when you say, okay, who is going to suffer if this thing doesn't get done, and then say at the end of the coaching, you have listed some of all these things. You say, okay, we need, who would you want? So I'm not the one, you are not the one sharing with the coachee to say, okay, I think this person should be accountable, but it's a person you feel comfortable with, okay, and then you share that, oh, this who I want to be my accountability partner. And then so I think that's all about what we've just shared. Sorry, I'm not in the very vibrant mode. I'm sorry for dropping the tempo from Ukamaka. So I've just been under the weather, and I just woke up about 10 minutes to this time. I hope I've been able to do a little justice to the topic. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Stella. That was beautiful. Okay, so is Adeswa to taking a session, or is that the end of your...
Okay. Oh, sorry. Adeswa is supposed to do a recap. That's okay. Where we have next. Adeswa is supposed to do a recap of what we have just shared.
Okay, thank you. Adeswa, can we please have you?
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for having me. Thank you, Ukamaka and Stella. So I'll just be doing a recap of what we've learned, so we know what we're taking home tonight. And we talked about facilitate clients' growth, and one of the key things we need to know, as partners with our clients, in order to facilitate their growth, is to ensure that their learning and their insights are transformed into actions, and so that they can be able to stand alone. And I know Ukamaka talked about the growth mindset, and she made us understand that we have two mindsets, which is the fixed mindset and the growth mindset. So we should encourage and ensure our coachee are not those who have the fixed mindset, but rather they have the growth mindset. And one of the key things
Oh, wow. I think she's frozen.
Hi, Adeswa. We can't hear you again.
No, she's frozen. I think it's
I
the
guess
network.
Okay.
Wow.
All right. So Stella, I don't know, is Adeswa also talking from the slide?
No.
Ukamaka?
No, she's not talking from the slide.
Okay, she's on the recap page. Okay, Ukamaka,
Yeah.
you might want to move to slide 10, recap. Okay.
Okay, so let me just take it off from where she stopped. So she was just trying to just round off everything in a nutshell. So we have already looked at what the facilitation of a client's growth is. So which is, simply put, trying to transform a client's learning and insight into action, making it actionable. So now that we have gotten to that stage, we have to ensure that our clients have a growth mindset as against the fixed mindset. Because when you have a growth mindset, it's already giving you a positive vibe. You're already visualizing the world like is my stage. I can catwalk on it. So it gives you a platform of I want to learn and I'm going to bypass my hurdles and excel. So we have already looked at that, and we're also looking at goals. How do we set a goal? So a client helps the client coachee set a goal, which is going to be actionable because we're going to use the SMART tool. Then after having set a goal, we move on to dialogue, which is having to discuss with the clients, which is very, very apt. You have to dialogue issues with the clients. You don't just load your ideas on them. You make them come up with the answers themselves, which is what coaching is all about. It's different from other intervention tools when it comes to human psychology and all. So after that, then we move on to accountability. You need to make sure that the coachee is accountable for his or her actions. Is that you make yourself become the accountable partner, or you devise a means to make sure that coachee is accountable for all her actions. So ensure that he or she meets the targeted goal. After that, I think the major thing is having a mindset of I want to move from a certain point to where I want to become a superstar, regardless of what I have as my hurdle, regardless of what I have that puts a glitch on my way. As far as the client has a growth mindset, that growth mindset is all about being positive, being showing the ability, I can do attitude, because it's all about the behavior. Because everything that has gone through the coaching process is about transforming the client's behavior, making the client to think in a better perspective, seeing things in a modified way. Because as a coach, you're trying to modify the client's view by asking those questions so that the clients can answer them and become the answer that he or she is looking for. Because the answers are inherent. They're not anywhere aside that body that you're speaking to. So you understand? So the coach is trying to make sure that the client sees the light bulb in his or her head by asking those questions. And when the client sees the light bulb, and that's a aha moment, and that's when the client will say, oh, good, I have the answer, and I'm going to work at it. And when you desire to work at it, it means that you're already aware of your deficiencies. You're already aware that you need to make some modifications in this process. And with that awareness, you set a goal. So now, to make it easier, you celebrate every little win with the client, so that the client doesn't feel defeated or feel worn out through the entire process. So we achieve every little win as we progress in the coaching process, so that the client will have the boosted ego, they have the boosted confidence to continue with the journey. So that is actually what this facilitation of growth is all about. I hope myself and my team members have done justice to this competency, because I feel this is the essence of coaching. If the client doesn't grow at the end of any coaching process, it is entirely a fiasco. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for having us.
Wow. Well done, Team 8. Fantastic. Thank you so much, team. You did amazing. Well done. Well done. Okay, as usual practice, we'll give opportunity for comments, questions at this point. Unfortunately, Coach Janet from ICF, our education director, had to drop off, but she had already shared a few thoughts with us earlier. We have Coach Yinka, ICF chapter secretary. We'll be honored to have him share with us insight, input, comments at this point. Coach Yinka, can we please have you?
Okay. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
First off, I'd like to just commend every single person involved in the planning of this session. Even as coaches, we learn every day, and I've been able to pick a few things from the session. It was a wonderful presentation. However, there's a word, every time I hear that word, it just cringes in my ear. And as coaches, we are always, positive minded, and it's important that our choice of words as well should also be stated in that direction. And that word is deficiency. I heard Ukwamaka, she said that word a lot of times. So going forward, I think, or I feel, going forward, rather than using the word, or before I even give suggestions of words to use, how else can that word be rephrased? If you're going to state that word positively, what other word would you use? So I'm throwing this question back to Ukwamaka.
I'm bereft of any word right now, but because the client is somewhere that he or she is stuck up somehow, so I would rather say maybe where you are stuck to where you want to become excellent, probably.
Okay. Okay. All right. Anybody? Stella, do you want to help out? What other word can be used in the place of deficiency?
I did.
Maybe opportunity.
Because it might be that she just, it's not what we use regularly during this conversation. It's probably for it's probably for a want of what to use. So it doesn't naturally come up when we are having conversations with the coaches, because they are not really deficient. They just need they just need you to bring out the best in them. So it's not as though they are deficient. So that's what doesn't really come, it doesn't occur regularly in our day-to-day coaching experiences. So I wouldn't even know which one to use to replace it, because it doesn't come up in the first instance.
Okay. Okay. As coaches, we say coaching is a lifestyle. So it's important that we just imbibe that lifestyle of positivity. So rather than using deficiency, I'll use development areas. Because when you say deficiency, it's like, okay, you are just admitting that the person has a problem. But we're stating it positively so that the person is also open to change and open to the opportunities around them. So yes, so going forward, I think it's important that in as much as we want to become coaches, we don't just want to be coaches just to be called a coach, but we become coaches because that's the way we actually live our lives. And even when you're angry, there are techniques to just use to just tone yourself down before you actually speak, because once you speak, you can't take it back. So it's important to just, take a step back, think about the questions, your choice of words, and but all in all, I value the presentation, and it's been helpful for me. Even if you don't realize it, it's been helpful for me as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Yinka. Thank you, Coach
Thank
Yinka,
you.
for that
Thank you, Coach Yinka. Thank
correction.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. TA, ma'am.
Okay, well done, Ukamaka, Stella, and Adeswa. So along with what Yinka just said, I'd just like to point out something, because this competency is very important. It's the last, but it's really the one that makes every team coaching session or one-on-one coaching session meaningful, so that the client rises up from the coaching session with enough oomph, or energy to want to move forward. So what I'd like to share with you is just one word we need to be careful of. When a team says we should have done this, or when an individual says I should have, right? Should is past tense. Should is not serving the best interest for this competency, because facilitating client growth means you're moving the client forward. You're helping them progress. But should is past tense. So be careful of words like Yinka said. So add this one to your beware. So be careful of words like should, we should have, or I should have. So rather than should, what should we say? I remember asking a team once, how is should serving you? And they all looked at each other, and I said, how is should serving you? And then somebody got it, and he's like, oh, I see. We're not moving forward at all. We're stuck in the past. And I said, okay, so how would you want to move forward? And then they reframed in an affirmative way. All right? Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yes, you was. Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am, as always. Kemisola Martins, please go ahead.
Okay, good evening, everyone. So just to
Hi,
support
Kemi.
my team members as well. So like TA mentioned, this eighth coaching competency is a critical and it's a pivotal point of the coaching relationship, because it moves the client from the place of knowledge to the place of doing, a place where you're able to gain autonomy. So you are that place where you become the co-creator. I can do this, just like the things that Ukamaka already mentioned. I can do this. I can move from where I was to where I want to be. So that's just what I want to add briefly. It fills the gap from the place of knowledge to the place of doing. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Kemisola. Toba Best, you had your virtual hand up. Do you still want to say something?
Okay, good evening, everyone. Thank you, Coach Lara. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, TA. Thank you for coming again. We are grateful. I just want to ask questions, because one of the things that I always try to pick up is whenever I attend a class like this, I want to relate it to what I'm doing or what I'm going to do to see how it can be useful for me. Not just the knowledge, but to be able to use it practically. So I'm just looking at how we can relate this competency to appraiser and the job objective, work objective rather. So I don't know how you can help. Thank you.
Okay. If I understand you correctly, okay, just like, okay, most of us are HR practitioners. And okay, during appraisal, what do? We set KPIs, and it's still the same as the goal. We set KPIs. So it's not just having the JD. The person must be measured at some point. Okay, this thing you are doing, how do we know you are doing it? So the key performance indicators in the key result areas will be there'll be an agreement. So if you are, it's not just like reflection, you're taking all these experiences that we have in coaching, bringing it to bear in our day-to-day lives. So you have an agreement. So you don't just set KPIs for your team without having a one-on-one conversation. So we have to agree. So you don't just set this particular goal that to you, you're setting a goal, but to the other person, it might be something that is unrealistic. So that's when we talk about the SMART test. We're equally bringing it to appraisal in the organization. So it must setting of all these KPIs and then attaching timelines with which this needs to be met. Okay, the first, you're just joining the first month, we expect that you should be able to do X, Y, Z. And so that is bringing that experience of having coaching experience, the goal setting with your clients, you're bringing it to the organization. It's the same as setting the KPIs for different roles and different functions based on the key results areas. So that's I can bring to that. And then again, some of all this, we talked about the listening. Okay, so I shared my last LinkedIn post was, are you listening or are you hearing? You're hearing, you're just taking in the sounds, your ability to be able to interpret what you're hearing, and then so that's one's listening. It's more, you understand and you're able to interpret what you're hearing. So when you're bringing active listening skill, it's also a great tool for coaching, not only for coaching, we can bring it to bear. So several times we have conversation. Most of us find it very difficult to listen. So someone is talking to you, you are distracted. And for people who have people who find it very difficult to focus, they have this wandering mind, they find it very difficult, and their attention span is very, very low. So for that, you can try practicing mindfulness. You can try practicing mindfulness on your own. Let me focus. Let me see if I can actually focus on this particular thing. So bringing it back now to listening. So how many times? So it's a skill that you can learn. Have you ever tried, listening to someone speak for like 60 seconds without interjecting? So that is you bringing all those things. So even in line managers, so we talk about them, appraisals. So the major thing we do, we use this line manager, different line managers. I in HR department cannot go to the production top floor and know what they are doing there. I'm to build all the capabilities in this manager to be able to do all this. So you train these land managers. The training cannot be overemphasized. You have to do that regularly. You train them. Active listening. It's not oh, you want to say, oh, I came to report. Hey, I know you want to report this. So Shebi is this person. You are already, so we as coaches, we try not to do that, but you have to sit and train them. Now, we are not saying train them to be certified coach, but train them how to use some of all those tools, some of all those skills in solving day-to-day problems in the workplace. So active listening, part of our skills in coaching, you can bring that to bear. Teach them how to listen to the person that is speaking. It's not when somebody walks in front of you. Some line managers don't even look up. They are pressing the computer or pressing the phone or something. And talk. I'm hearing you. Or talk, I'm listening. You're actually hearing, you're not listening. Your attention is not there. And there are some people, they want you to pay attention to them when they are speaking. And when you're not paying attention, you're wondering, they stop, or they recall for what they originally would want to say. So there are some of all these things, if you look at it critically, we find out that it's being brought to our day-to-day operations in the workplace. Thank you. Other people can contribute. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Stella. Thank you. Kemisola, we have your hand up.
Sorry, I just wanted to respond to
okay.
what Toba asked.
All right, if you can do that very quickly.
So, yes, so for me, applying this competency to the appraisal process, most of the time appraisals tend to be backward looking. So using this competency, you can help the employee see their potential and discover ways that they they can improve their performance for the future. So you are striking a healthy balance between the past and the future using this particular competency. So that's my point of view.
Thank you. Coach Yinka,
Thank you.
can we have your contribution? Yes. Thank you.
Sorry, I just wanted to add to what Stella just mentioned about listening. There's this acronym that I usually use. It's called WAIT, and it's why am I talking? So it's important, just everyone, you can, whatever works for you, but that's what works for me. I just pace myself. Why am I talking? Am I listening, or am I waiting to speak? So those are some of the key things, we need to consider when listening, just pay attention to the person. And secondly, I want to throw a spanner into this conversation. I want to just shake the table a bit. Since we are talking about facilitating clients' growth, how do you facilitate the growth of somebody who says that they want to commit suicide?
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, let me.
So can I just answer? Thanks, Yinka, for shaking the table. And that's a real shake. But before I answer, let me just add to Toba's question with regards appraisals. How you end an appraisal session is just as important as how you start it. So this 8th competency, facilitating client growth, is very important when you're rounding up an appraisal session. And let me give you three good tips. One, as you're rounding up the appraisal session, is just to ask, what will you stop doing? What will you start doing? What will you continue doing? The three traffic lights: stop, start, continue. Or you can reframe it this way: what have you learned? What will you unlearn? And what will you relearn? One of the questions I found very empowering, especially if somebody in an appraisal session has said very good things about what they did, and rightly so, relating to their achievements or their strengths. We talk about strengthening your strengths. One of the questions I love to ask is, if you had to do this project again, maybe they got a 4-point rating out of a 5-point rating, 4 being excellent or exceeds, and 5 being exceeds expectation. So for someone like that, I would say, for this project that you got an exceeds, if you were to do this project again, what would you do differently? All right, so that's facilitating their growth. It enables them to think creatively, innovatively, apply all the things, be cost conscious, maximize time, budget and what have you. Okay, so back to Yinka's question. So can you say that question again? Yinka?
How do you facilitate a client's growth when they come to you and say they want to commit suicide?
Okay, so you start by, just like you do with an onion, and you peel an onion, slowly but gently. Tell me more about this suicide thing, But again, I always want to urge us to apply the GROW model. It's a very simple model, So they want to commit suicide. First of all, I want to ascertain, so is that really your goal of this session, that you want to commit suicide, All right, just to assure yourself that you need to commit suicide. And so you then apply the GROW model. By the time when you commit suicide, what kind of feelings would you be going through, Because, a dead person will not go through feelings. That will stop them in their gaps. But even if it doesn't, it's explore the current reality. Tell me what's going on in your world right now. Why suicide, right? And when they tell you all the various things, okay, tell them to narrow all the current reality of whatever it is they're going through into 3. Okay, out of these 3, tell me more about what options do you have, so that they begin to explore options, because suicide may just be one option. They could come up with other options, maybe seek counseling, and then you now scale it. Out of these 5 options, which one of them do you think, or reorder these options, and you'll find that perhaps suicide, which was number 1 on the scale, now drops to number 5. And so that way you have facilitated their growth. You have put power in their hands, or disempowered the demon of death that brought them into the session, and then giving them cause to leave. And then you let them commit to those actions they would take in terms of deciding to leave. And then, of course, agree with them in terms of certain accountabilities. Just off the top of my head, those are my answers.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, TA. Okay, just to add to that, yes, I want us all to be extremely careful when we are dealing with cases of suicide. So these are different terrain from our regular coaching experiences. So if we don't have the technical competence to talk someone out of it, and because it's easier said than done. If you've met someone, if you've had life experiences, the person is staring at you in the face. So this experience is different from what you've read in the book. So it's defined, or how should I put it now? If you are not being trained to handle such, please let's kindly refer the client to people who are trained, who have the competence to talk people, or treat such cases. That's just what I want to add.
All right,
So
that's spot on. That's spot on. So because in terms of suicide, it has moved from coaching into more of counseling or therapy, because yes, you use the coaching conversations to just find out where their headspace is, and just hand them over to the right. Yeah. So well said. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Wow, it's been an interesting learning session this evening. On that note, I want to especially appreciate everyone for your time this evening. Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, TA, once again, for making out some time despite the short notice. We are really grateful to have you. Thank you, Coach Yinka, as well. God bless you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Coach Jenna. She's not here, but we appreciate her. Thank you so much for your support always. And thank you to Team 8. Well done, team. It's been an amazing time learning, listening to you all. And this brings us to the end of our team coaching knowledge sharing session on the GEMS platform. It's been an incredible journey that we started in February, and we are grateful. Thank you to everyone that participated. Feedback is important for us as coaches to understand what areas we need to improve upon. So I would employ everyone, the feedback form link rather has been dropped in the chat box. Please feel free to give us your feedback on areas of improvement and what went well, what did you enjoy, particularly in the team knowledge sharing session. On that note, thank you so much, everyone. We'd like to take a picture. So right now, I hope most of us are camera ready. I know it's Sunday evening. Majority of us are probably on our beds trying to relax and fall asleep. But if you can put on your camera, we just want to take a picture. It's the grand finale of our team coaching knowledge sharing session, just to keep that memory. Please put on your cameras if you can. Coach Yinka, Do you need foundation powder or something?
I wish I had, but I mean, the absence of that, I'll just brighten my light.
You're looking good. You're looking good. Thank you. Okay, so Tom, are you ready to take the picture? Okie dokie. We're about to take our picture. Okay. Tom, are we ready?
My joy is beginning to echo.
Sorry. Okay. Toba, we can't hear you. Are we ready for our picture? Okay. Is Toba still in the house? Otherwise, I think we just go ahead and take the picture. Oh,
yes, I'm here.
All right, so we want to take a group picture.
Okay. Wow.
All right. So on that note, I'll just do a screen grab, I think. Yep. Okay. Everyone say cheese. All right, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. It's been a great learning journey.
Hi, Moji.
And on that note, thank you all. So,
hi, Madam Sarah. How are you?
Some music. Thank you.
Well.
Yeah.
Well done, Coach Sarah.
Thank you.
Okay, well done.
Thank
Madam
you.
Kitty, nice to hear your voice.
Thank you. You've all been an incredible learning team members. Thank you. And enjoy the rest of your evening.
Okay, bye. Coach Lara,
thank
bye.
you.
Have a wonderful week ahead.
And you too.
Ukamaka, thank you.